Hey guys, today we're servicing this beautiful 600
Arabesque.
rear derailleur. Some tools you're going to need are a 9mm wrench, an Allen set, a pick, some pliers, and a screwdriver. Alright, so with the pulleys out of the way, I really like the way you service the guide pulley. Wish more derailleurs would do that. And onto the springs. And this derailleur actually has 2 springs, even though it's a friction derailleur. So yeah, let's get to it. First I'm going to take off this little claw piece here. Some derailleurs have claws, some don't. I'm going to take this off for... Alright, so start off by unscrewing this little 6mm bolt here. Go ahead and unscrew it. Alright, so what that did is take off the claw, and now we have to take out this clip. Alright, so grab your pick and pull off the clip. Never finding that again. Alright, now get the metal retaining ring and pull it back over, and then it's gonna spring out. Before you take off the retaining ring, just take off the bolt. And if it's stuck, just use a plier to kind of push it out. There we go. So then pull off the retaining ring, and the spring actually doesn't come out because it's held on right there. And if you can take off this little plastic seal. Actually, yeah, do pop off the seal, as you see that little slot there, because then you just go ahead and push the spring out. There we go. Alright, and same thing for the B-spring. Unscrew this little 6mm bolt. Make sure to maintain tension on the cage as you do it because it's going to spring out. There we go. Alright, so pull off cage, and comes the spring with this housing. Alright, so now pull out the spring from the housing, and then for the parallelogram you can take out the bolt if you can. Mine doesn't really come out, so yeah, don't force it out and you can just leave it in there. Alright, here's the derailleur completely taken apart, and now it's time to do some cleaning. For this I like to use some cleaner or degreaser. Remember, if you're using a harsh degreaser, stay away from the plastic parts, and if you have any rust in your derailleur, make sure to clean it off first before using Metal Rescue or a Vapor Rust. And in my case, I'm using this Ultrasonic cleaner, and as usual, all I'm using is water and dish soap. Alright, so after the cleaning, I also gave some of the chrome parts a wax with this Quick-Glo. And also you can polish the aluminum, but I'm not going to do that since the aluminum is already really shiny. So yeah, let's go onto the assembly. And another thing you're going to need for the assembly is grease. Alright, so first off you want to put a light coating of grease on the inside of the pinnacle, and then get your spring and go ahead and insert it. And then grab your plastic seal and put it on too. Now apply a little bit of grease on the inside of the plastic seal and insert the bolt. Now you want to get the retaining ring and grease up the inside and the outside nice and good. And then line up the little hole and insert it on. Alright, so now you want to get this little tab all the way around here. And I like to grab this little part with a pair of pliers and moving it over like this. Alright, once it's in, grab your clip and insert it on. Alright, now for the B-spring, you want to grease up the inside of this little plastic housing and get the long end and put it in the little hole there. Alright, now you want to grease up this shaft on the parallelogram. Then grab your spring in the housing and slide it on. And before you put the cage on, you want to put on the little washer on the bolt. That prevents the plastic from rubbing on the cage. Now you want to insert the spring into the cage, and there, as you see, there are 2 holes. And this one right here is the looser one, and this one right here is the tighter one. So I'm going to be putting in the tighter one. I recommend you do so too, just like that. Okay, so then you want to screw in the bolt a little bit into the cage. Just grab like a thread or so, and then rotate it clockwise. But when you get past these 2 little things, the stoppers, and then go ahead and screw in the bolt all the way. Alright, now for the pulleys, you just want to grease up the inside of the plastic one, and then bring out your steel bushing and put a little bit of grease on the inside of that one too. And then put the 2 seals on and start screwing it on. I really like this design, so you don't have to screw on the cage. I wish more derailleurs did this, you know. Same thing for the other pulley, just grease up the 2 little sides, and then grab your little cage here, and then get the bolt, line it up, make sure it's in there, and then put it in the hole. And then line it up like this and screw on the nut. Okay, make sure it's screwed on all the way like this, and this one sits flush here. That's how you know you got it right. Then put on the barrel adjuster and the clamp bolt, and you got yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur.
This is truly a solid derailleur. It's quite light at 192 grams, it looks brilliant, and is super reliable. So remember guys, if you have an old derailleur, don't replace it, just rebuild it. Don't be afraid to use those older parts. Thanks to anyone who subbed, and I'll see you in the next one.